Igniting, inspiring.
It's all about failing over and over and over again, throwing out a lot of really bad ideas and writing down a lot of really like mediocre content, but then eventually you hit that nice little nugget of brilliance in the middle of all of it. So it's really just a thing of dedication, repetition, and just you gotta just keep at it. That's what writing is for me. Just turn on with me, and you're not alone. Let's turn on and be not alone. Give me your hands, 'cause you're wonderful.
The What's Your Inspiration podcast with Foxfire.
It does.
Hello and welcome to episode 51 of the What's Your Inspiration podcast. Today, as always, a very special guest. He is a jack of all trades, a master of none, but he reminds you that this is oftentimes better than being a jack of just one thing. He is Tomas Russo. Tomas, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great, Fox. I'm doing great. Life is crazy right now, but
It is with the COVID-19.
yeah, but it's
pandemic.
interesting, it's it's given me a lot of time to work on the stuff I want to work on. Let's just put it that way. That's the plus side.
Yeah, that's the silver lining, the plus side, the bright side, for me too as well. You know, as a school teacher, there we have remote learning, and there's a lot of good that's come out of that. I think as a teacher myself, you expand your repertoire because you have to, and just like you said, more time to, or in a way to be creative, write, read, compose. As it is. So that's outstanding. I think Tomas and I would be remiss if we didn't encourage you all, like we do, practice the high five.
Oh yeah.
That's I think simply put, the way we can squash this thing, not only here, but around the world. Amen?
Amen to that.
All right.
Amen to that.
So Tomas and I met months ago at a place called Boxwood Coffee in Summit, New Jersey, where I go once a month, the final Friday of the month, to test out some new material that I've been writing. And Tomas, to me, is just used that to show off his pipes. He is an unbelievable a cappella singer, among many things. And hopefully, if he agrees to it, he will give us a taste of that later in the episode. Yes?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. I'm all warmed up and everything. It's great.
Yes, you are. I think you're fully equipped with a great sound system and a glass of orange juice.
Oh yeah, the essentials.
There it is. There it is. So, I introduced you in the way that saying this. You use writing, marketing, and music, and you put it together in this concoction. So I wanted to get your viewpoints on all three of those things to start off. So are you ready?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Go for it.
Oh, after you. Questions are good for a guide.
True. I'm talking too much, but I'm going to let you do the talking.
No,
right
not
after
at
this.
all.
Ernest Hemingway, to quote him, writing is easy. All you have to do is sit at a typewriter and bleed. Now, if we were quoting you, Tomas, writing is what?
Writing is hours spent throwing stuff against the wall until something sticks. It's one of those things that you really have to just do it a little bit every day to really get good at it and to really get something good. Like I hear from so many other writers that it's all about failing over and over and over again, throwing out a lot of really bad ideas and writing down a lot of really like mediocre content, but then eventually you hit that nice little nugget of brilliance in the middle of all of it. So it's really just a thing of dedication, repetition, and just you gotta just keep at it. That's what writing is for me, I think.
The old DR method, not the Dominican Republic, but dedication and repetition.
Oh yeah.
I concur. I mean, you have to sift through some things, and there's a phrase down in Nashville, music wise, dare to suck,
Yeah.
dare to suck, because it's going to happen to everybody. But you are a talented writer. I have not seen any of your writing, but just your delivery lets me know that your writing is well above par.
Well,
All right,
thank
so
you.
that's your view on writing. Now,
That
what
is.
about marketing, Tomas? Okay, here's a quote from Bill Veeck, a popular former baseball executive. Okay, he writes, "Quote: What can I do that is so spectacular that no one is able to say they have seen it before?" Marketing to you. Marketing is what?
I hope I'm not jumping the gun with this, but you asked me in the pre-interview questions about a book I'm currently reading. I'm currently working through Chip and Dan Heath wrote this excellent book called Made to Stick, and it's about what makes an idea sticky, quotations as it were, like what makes it stick in your mind and stay with you. And I think marketing for me is taking like the really big and intriguing ideas and finding the simplest way to convey them, because people don't have time for, and I'm so guilty of this, tangent after tangent after tangent. People don't necessarily have time to listen through a lot of complex and very nuanced and high thought. So I think marketing is taking a brilliant idea, a very complex idea, and then chiseling it down to its simplest pieces to make it universally digestible to the general masses. Because like, you could be a great writer, a great singer, a great anything, but if you don't know how to appeal to people in a simple way, you're not going to get all that much exposure.
Agreed. What's the name of the book again? The title of the book?
Made to Stick. It's by Chip and Dan Heath.
Chip and Dan Heath. Have you read the book The Perennial Seller, Ryan Holiday?
I have not.
Similar, very, very similar ways that we can make something that will appeal to a lot of people for a long, long time. And it speaks to a lot of what you're speaking about. How do we make something that's meaningful and understandable and that it sticks as well? Like you, I'm guilty of meaningless discourse for sure, over and over and over again. Outstanding. Now, third, music. Okay. To quote Friedrich Nietzsche, is how you pronounce his last name, I believe, without music, life would be a mistake. Now, for you, without music, ...
Without music, I'd probably go insane. Since I was, even more so than I already am. Since I was a little kid, music was always like my center. It was like my home to return to, especially now. Coming into adulthood, I'm working a really crappy job that I don't necessarily love, but while I'm there and while I'm doing the monotonous, mundane tasks, I'm like humming to myself. And that's what I've always done. When things are bad, I sing to myself. When I was going through a lot of big moments in my life, I would walk, down the street and I'd be singing the whole way. Music, it's not only something I enjoy doing, it really is like a lifeblood for me and very much a meditative art form.
Literally is the background of your life, right?
Yeah, I've been doing it since I could speak.
I wish I could say that, but that is not the case. But it's literally for you. And I've known you for a little while now. It's the background. It's a very needed crutch, and I can see you totally agree with Nietzsche's quote.
Oh
life,
yeah,
life would be a mistake without music.
Mm.
Now, we're going to dig into your musical tastes here as we go into a section called What, Which, and Where. So, Tomas, I'm going to read you a quote from someone, and you tell us from where it came. Go through your mental Rolodex. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm not probably going to
You seem surprised, but you are a performer, and I trust you perform well, as we all do. So, here we go. Quote number 1. I know very little about acting. I am just a very gifted faker. Who said it?
Sounds like an American. If anyone said that, that was going to be an American.
For sure, it is. What American actor?
Gosh, there's so few to choose from, really. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Joe Pesci? No, not him.
It's not Joe Pesci, although that's a very good guess.
You got a hint?
Sure, he was in a movie that I quote, which I don't want to say it's obscure, but with Mel Gibson in the late 80s, before you were born, called Air America. It's a pretty obscure reference, but if I gave you other movies, you'd know it right away. I don't want to do that right now.
Oh gosh, I'm just a very good faker. I feel like I've heard this one too.
He's very, very talented. He's also a musician and a great singer. I'll give you another hint.
Is this Joaquin Phoenix?
It is not.
No.
It's not Joaquin Phoenix. But it is someone who sang the song Driven to Tears at Sting's 60th birthday party, and he nailed it. The police song Driven to Tears. That was one of my most recent. I've never seen him, but I saw him virtually through that, just going through YouTube a few weeks back. Amazing, talented man. Not Joe Pesci, not Joaquin Phoenix.
No. Oh, you got me, Fox. You got me. Trivia has never been my strong suit.
That's okay. Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, there it is.
He's not an actor. He's just what he's saying. A very
good
faker.
pretender. Yeah. I am.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yes, he is a gifted faker. But if you get a chance to view that on YouTube, Driven to Tears, Robert Downey Jr., I'm amazed. The dude is supremely talented, but as we know, not with without a lot of hard work. A lot of humility in that quote there, I think.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Not so much humility in this quote, though. It goes like this: "I'm an instant star. Just add water and stir."
Yeah,
He's a big influence. He's a big influence on you. From what I know about you, a big influence. Not the biggest, but a big influence on you.
Paul.
Again, the quote is, "I'm an instant star. Just add water and stir."
Oh gosh. Big influence. Well, you know me as doing a lot of like Paul McCartney stuff, so I'm going to take a little jab.
Not
with
Sir
that.
Paul, but
no,
it's
I didn't
close.
think it would be.
It's second to Sir Paul.
John Lennon?
Third.
Ringo?
Not a Beatle.
Not a Beatle.
Not a Beatle.
Again, trivia. I would never succeed at like Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy.
You are indeed under pressure. It is David Bowie.
It's David Bowie. Oh, it always makes sense when you hear it too, you know?
Again. You can just picture him saying that.
Right. I could picture Robert Downey Jr. saying the first thing too. It makes sense once the answer's there, but
I can picture David Bowie saying that with a glass of cognac in his hand.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
God.
And like his awesome hair.
Oh, unbelievable hair. How did you do that for all those years?
I don't know, but what a guy.
You do know. You got great flow. What are you talking about?
Oh, well, thank you.
I mean, you got big league moss.
I woke up like this.
And that's all you had to do.
Rolled out of bed.
I've got big league moss. All I need to do is roll out of bed twice.
Yeah.
Roll over twice and I'm good to go. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Next quote goes like this. ... There are only 4 people who know what the Beatles were about anyway.
I actually just read that one. That one I know is Sir Paul.
It is indeed Sir Paul.
Yeah.
He's a huge influence on your musical career as it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love Paul. He's great. Sir Paul.
Now, you're a great a cappella singer, and I mean, I don't use that term lightly. Great a cappella singer, great artiste. First Beatles song you learned to sing?
Actually, it's the first Beatles song that I probably have a deep connection with. And so when I was really starting to get into them, the first one that I kind of dug into was definitely All My Lovin'. My mom used to sing that to me as a lullaby because she would go on business trips a lot for work
Mm.
back when I was a little kid. So I would be, in bed and she would sing me All My Lovin' as a lullaby by the Beatles. And song has a very special place in my heart. And when I really started to get into them, it was definitely one of the pieces that I was delving into quite a bit.
And you've expanded your palette ever since, yes?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've gotten into that. That's very tame for the Beatles. I've gotten into a lot of their more explorative stuff. That's the stuff that I love. But that one has a very special place for me.
This may be a ridiculous question because I know you a little bit, and um, I've seen you perform and sing an a cappella version of Bohemian Rhapsody, which is beyond me. Um, I can't believe it. I mean, imagine people going into a just a little coffee shop on a Friday night, and uh, someone belts out. I mean, belt out Bohemian Rhapsody like it's his job, like he's just eating cereal in the morning, like he's brushing his teeth, riding a bike. And I've seen Tomas do this on a number of occasions. So it may be a dumb question, but I'm going to ask this. What has been over time your hardest song to sing? Maybe one of your songs or a cover?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I actually don't have a whole lot of original material yet. I definitely want to get into working on that, but right now it's mainly been covers, and the hardest ones to sing has probably been I have it on the tip of my tongue. It is most definitely. Oh my god! So you know the song "Band on the Run"?
Yes.
That one is completely a hit or miss depending on the day. Because some days I can just soar with the notes at full voice, and other days I'm like, um. So honestly, that one because it's right on a vocalist has like a break in their voice, and where he goes in that song is literally right on my break, but still. So like doing it in like my head voice is very shaky, and doing it in full voice can either go really well or horribly wrong. So that's definitely probably the hardest one I've worked on.
So sometimes the spaghetti sticks and sometimes it does not.
Yep. You throw it against the wall, and sometimes it's like woo, or sometimes it's like so.
Just your willingness to try a lot of those songs is amazing to me. Amazing. I mean, I would encourage you to continually do that because I look forward to it when I see you perform. And I trust that as time goes on, people more and more are going to look for you to do that. So,
Well, thank you, folks.
yes. And hopefully, right now, we're going to get a taste of his talents. Would you like to? Um, a
Oh
cappella
yeah. Oh yeah.
song or two.
I have two prepared. And they both artists came up in our little interview session today.
I'm
So
not surprised.
yeah. So I'll do the first one and I'll do the second one. They're both kind of snipped down, just so not to take up too much time, but I got the highlights of them. So uh should I just go?
Well, introduce the song.
All right, all
Talk
right.
to us a little
First
bit
one
about
is
it. It's all yours.
David Bowie, Rock and Roll Suicide is I don't know if you've ever used Tinder, but for all of my generation out there who are wandering on the Tinders, you know that they have like the Spotify section where you can put down like my anthem from your Spotify, and the one that's there for me is definitely Rock and Roll Suicide because life ain't always easy. Like it's been a roller coaster of a ride, but that song, since I've learned it, has always very much connected with me and helped me stay strong even when things get kind of rough. So David Bowie,
Amen.
Rock
It's all
and Roll
yours.
Suicide. Here I go. Time takes a cigarette and puts it in your mouth. You pull on your finger, then another finger, then your cigarette. The wall-to-wall's crawling, it lingers, then you forget. Oh, no, 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 you're a rock and roll suicide. Chef breaks a snarling as you stumble across the road. But the day breaks instead, so you hurry home. Don't let the sun blast your shadow. Don't let the milk float ride your mind. You're so natural, religiously unkind. Oh no, love, you're not alone. You're watching yourself, but you're too unfair. You've got your head all tangled up. But if I could only make you care. Oh no, love, you're not alone. No matter what or who you've been, no matter when or where you've seen, all the knives seem to lacerate your brain. I've had my share, I'll help you with the pain. You're not alone. Just turn on with me, and you're not alone. Let's turn on and be not alone. Give me your hands, 'cause you're wonderful. That's, yeah. It gets interesting without having the instruments there. But
I'll let you take a breath, man. Episode 51 of the What's Your Inspiration podcast here with Tomas Russo, his version of Rock and Roll Suicide. Tomas, take a breather, take a drink. If you're up for it, we'll do another song, just reflecting on Tomas's life in writing, in marketing, and music. And there you heard the talents. He has inspired a lot with his voice, in his very few short years on this earth, and he is destined to inspire many more influences, as we've heard. David Bowie, the Beatles themselves, and we haven't mentioned him directly, but Freddie Mercury and the band Queen as well, as I know it. So, Tomas, Rock and Roll Suicide, if you could just describe that song in one word, what would it be?
hope, which is such like a typical word, but yeah, hope.
Hope.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And we need that in this time. I think that's a very appropriate song, as the entire world right now is being ravaged by this pandemic, COVID-19.
Oh, yeah.
So, Tomas, thank you for that. And if you're up for it, you can give us another one.
Yeah, here I go. This one's Paul McCartney. I love Paul McCartney. He's great. He's personally my favorite Beatle. I know most people love John, but I just think he's such a realistic guy. Like, he has big ideas, but he has them in the world where we exist, and he tries to do everything he can without going too high and mighty and idealistic. He keeps it real, you know?
He sure does. I mean, you feel like he is, to me, I mean, a very approachable guy. He just looks like you could sit down with him and talk about anything and everything. And you if you didn't know, you wouldn't know that how world renowned he really is. And I think for all the right reasons. For all the right reasons.
Oh yeah. For
sure. But yeah, he just seems like a good old dude to me. And you will do him justice in this next effort.
Thank you. Yeah, this next one's going to be, it's going to be Maybe I'm Amazed. I haven't done this boxwood yet, but I'm excited to when I finally do.
An exclusive.
Yeah, it's an exclusive. First time, everyone. Here we go. Maybe I'm amazed at the way you love me all the time. Maybe I'm afraid of the way I love you. Maybe I'm amazed at the way you pulled me out of time. You hung me on a line. Maybe I'm amazed at the way I really need you. Maybe I'm a man, maybe I'm a lonely man who's in the middle of something that he doesn't really understand. Maybe I'm a man, maybe you're the only woman who could ever help me. Baby, won't you help me to understand? Ooh, oh.
Take the roof off this place. Both roofs. You kidding me?
Thank you.
Once again, episode 51, What's Your Inspiration podcast with Tomas Russo. Maybe I'm amazed. Paul McCartney for us. Tomas, thank you so much for both of those. And as we wrap up here, I wanted to ask you this. We know all heroes don't wear a cape, but if you had a chance, okay, to take a 1-hour car ride with one of the following three people, who would it be and why? Would it be Sir Paul McCartney? Would it be Freddie Mercury? Or would it be Robert Downey Jr.?
Honestly, probably Robert Downey Jr. Simply because I know that his story is a very complex one, and he's really been through the ringer. Not to say that Freddie and Paul's aren't, but I know RDJ was definitely went through the ringer in his own kind of way, and has really made such a turnaround, and just has such a an ease about life now, and such a quiet wisdom without really flaunting it. He just kind of is. And he made it to there from being at what I understand was a very low place. And I would just love to know what that journey was like. Also, he just seems like pretty freaking cool. And like, I'd be able to be like, yo, I'm in a car with Robert Downey Jr. Oh my God. Yeah.
Amen to that. Amen to that. He's,
Yeah.
there's not a man out there that hasn't been through something. He's been through quite a bit, and but done that to really inspire us all, including the two people that you're hearing on this podcast right now. So good for you, Ross. I like your choice. Thank you for everything. Before we go, a couple of things. How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I have an Instagram page, which is probably my primary source of marketing right now. Marketing, there it is. Tomas R255. So that's my name, Tomas R, and then 255. Go ahead.
What's the significance of the 255?
Honest to God, the funniest story. The most ironic thing, literally, I used to play a lot of Xbox. I've switched over to PS4, and literally, I just like on the end of my username, I just put 255 like randomly, just a random three numbers, and it just kind of stuck. Now I use it on everything. I use it on my email. I use it on my Instagram page. There's literally no significance, but it is a constant theme. I'm eventually probably gonna have to make up a story for some significance, so I don't keep having to be like, oh, video games.
Might end up being a sauce that you're going to put on your spaghetti or something. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Who knows?
There you go.
Just thought I asked that. And the final maybe question or advice, not literally but figuratively, empty your pockets. What advice do you have for our listeners moving forward?
Wow, that's a heavy one. Jeez.
It's loaded because of where we are in the world right now.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you that question and see where you went with it. So it's all yours.
The most important two things are to, one, keep some routine. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a boring, drab routine, but I have found for myself at least that having a routine and filling that routine up with things that I love keeps my head above water and keeps me always pressing forward in the best ways. I just find I'm at my best when I'm living in a satisfying and fulfilling routine day to day. And then the second one is just, and I believe this since I was a kid, and it's only gotten stronger within me as I've aged, live free. Live, it's like, it's that old, um, oh gosh, who was it? Patrick Henry? That old,
May have
yeah,
been. I
Patrick,
don't know, but
yeah,
it's poignant.
something history, live free or die. I, and it's not always easy, and not everyone has the immediate ability, but if you're going to work towards any one thing in this life, work towards having the freedom to choose what you do with yourself and your time and your energy.
That's a great stamp to end the episode. Tomas, thank you so much. This has been as I always say this, but I really mean it. It has been a blast to go through your life in the way that we did. So thank you very much.
Likewise, Fox. Thank you for having me.
It's been my pleasure. This will wrap up episode 51 of the What's Your Inspiration podcast. Tomas and I will talk with you all later. Take good care.
You have been listening to the What's Your Inspiration podcast with Fox Beyer. Because impact on each other is the greatest currency you could ever have.